Barbecue Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seed.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It is the Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue. If you missed the first hour, shame on you. You missed a visit with David Gafford from the Barbecue Lab. You missed a visit from Robert Moss from robertfmoss.com. While that is unfortunate for you, the good news is this. We are recording video, audio. So when the show ends tonight, video, auto archives on Facebook and YouTube. Watch immediately if you want. If you would rather do Theater of the Mind on the audio-only podcast, hour number 1 will be released tomorrow on Wednesday. Hour number 2 released on Thursdays, and we'll talk about Friday here in a second. Still to come on this show this evening, the CEO of Weber Blackstone, Roger Dahle, joins the show once again after a 3-year hiatus or so. We say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to the aforementioned Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show or YouTube, which is YouTube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We do have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody in 100% assurity statement fashion. 100% yes or 100% no. You watched more than 10 minutes of the World Cup by choice, and 67% of you are saying you did not watch at least 10 minutes by choice of the World Cup, and I am aligning with the majority. As I said in the first hour, I'm not somebody that typically finds myself aligning with the majority for whatever reason, not by choice. It's just usually the way it works out. But tonight, I am indeed with the majority of the folks here this evening. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less. This coming Friday, episode 442, taking you back to April 9th of 2019, and a second week of requested shows from our pal Doug Scheiding from Texas, the longest-running embedded correspondent, by the way. This was an episode that was featuring a lot of thoughts on an impending Valentine's Day holiday and a lot of thoughts about how my guests might get you laid. So we'll see how the show next week stacks up, if we can be ready for some other way to help you when you need it most. My guests coming through for you. Filet mignon, or as Meathead said, I forget exactly what the scenario of meat. If you can, maybe it was tomatoes. I forget. Don't put me on the spot. But the last week and this coming, so Friday, 2 weeks, a lot of love talk going on the Barbecue Central Show. As I always say, while this is a barbecue and grilling based show, it's not always about barbecue and grilling. Sometimes it's about get down time, if you know what I mean. Little wrestling, adult wrestling. What are you doing to mommy? Beat it, kids! Anyway, you can subscribe to the show by visiting thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. And that is holding true for both the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, or this show. All you have to do is go to thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe, and you are off and running. You never have to miss a show. You can listen to me. You don't have to watch me. I always suggest that, but not everybody likes that for whatever reason. Also, don't forget, if you would like to hear a guest or a segment again that has been lost in the extensive archives of the show, you can email our pal John Solberg and let him know what you would like to hear. Of course, we know John's email address is John, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com, and he will do his best to meet your expectation on whatever it is you're looking for. Now, you will have to line up and wait a little bit, because not only does Doug have last week and this week claimed, he also has the next 2 weeks claimed. Doug hot and heavy on the request line. John making it happen for our pal Doug. We are done with the famous Dave's update. A quicker series this time around, but I think potentially gearing up for a much bigger, not necessarily famous Dave's, but we could be seeing the culmination and then hence unveiling of a much bigger barbecue series of sorts. So maybe Famous Dave stays the way it is, but remember when we were talking with Mike McLeod not too many weeks ago, we were also getting updates on the in-parking lot Walmart barbecue beta test competitions or whatever. And between the two, Walmart felt like it had more legs to become what was a Sam's Club barbecue series back in the day. I will still maintain the position that if we launch something, not me, but if Mike McLeod launches something of that ilk, my concern is, while there was all kinds of hop on it, crash the servers at sign up when registration occurs, blah, 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 it might not bring the same intensity. Nostalgia wants me to bring the same intensity to an event that might feel akin to a Sam's Club barbecue series. But my soul wonders for real if the same intensity will be brought by the now competition barbecue public. And we'll see what happens from there. By the way, at the top of the second hour on the ID, you heard a very young Marley Rempe say you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show, and I'm Marley Rempe. By the way, as of yesterday, Marley Rempe turning 21 years old. Whoa.
Hey, everybody, can I trouble you for a yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So everybody in the house, including me, over the age of 21... and let decadence and debauchery reign supreme in the Rempe household here on the east side of Cleveland every day moving forward. And we will. So what do you do for 21st birthday and it's on a Monday? Not too much. I go to bed at 10 because I'm up at 5. We're working out. We're getting the cardio in. We're hitting the weights. We're 52 years old. I can't have Rashid Phillips be such a hunky, muscular man and not want to put in the effort to be as hunky and muscular as my body wants to give me at 52 years old, but also trying to be as healthy as I can be. And we know, according to my executive physical, very healthy, according to Dr. Sabalos, and we love Dr. Sabalos. So 10 o'clock during the week, except Tuesday nights when I'm staying up super late on purpose to hang with the fellas. This show, I'm in bed 10 o'clock every night. Up at 5, get the workout in, refuel, and then we go to work. We do all that fun stuff. Make sure we get 9,000 steps in every day. Start taking time for yourself now. Get in the routine. All I'm reading about as I'm aging out quickly is if you're a man, you have to be lifting heavy. Forget this 5-pound high rep bullshit. You need heavy weights. I don't know what that means. Most people are stronger than me, so heavyweight to me might be light to you, but heavy to me. To keep the bone density, to keep the musculature. These are all very important things. So I'm doing my best at 52 to get the lifestyle down. So in 10 years from now, I'm kind of looking like this too. I hope. I'm not going to freak out yet. I'm not. Due up next, Roger Dahle, Weber Blackstone. Weber, Blackstone. Weber / Blackstone. Whatever you want. Before that, I'm asking you, are you ready for a cigar experience built on history and built on passion? Yes? Great. Let me tell you about McAuliffe Cigars. Partnership forged between Texas passion and a Cuban cigar-making dynasty whose heritage spans back to the 1930s. Whether you seek the nuanced elegance of the Migdalia, delicious, or complex power of the Leonda, equally delicious, McAuliffe offering a symphony of flavors for every palate. And don't forget about the ever-expanding color series, my favorite series that they offer. An unmatched smoking experience coupled with unmatched value. Remember the Black One Cigar of the Year a couple years ago from Cigar Authority. Each cigar handcrafted in Esteli, Nicaragua by the legendary Gomez Sanchez family. McAuliffe delivers tradition and quality in every draw. Taste that tradition, by the way. Visit McAuliffeCigar.com to find a retailer nearest you. That's McAuliffe, spelled MICALLEF, McAuliffeCigars.com. And we're back with Roger Dahle right after this. Stick around.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. Kicking off the second hour is the creator of the product that completely transformed the outdoor cooking market, making Blackstone synonymous with griddling over the last handful of years. It's been there. It's been 3 years since his last appearance on this show, and he's now not only guiding Blackstone, but has also added a up-and-coming brand called Weber to that leadership portfolio. Let's go ahead and dive into all the updates since his last visit and see what the future might bring as well. The CEO of Weber Blackstone, Roger Dahle, joining me here on the show. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I am fabulous. Appreciate you making time. Before we get into all of this second hour nonsense, we have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. So we'll ask you 100% yes or 100% no. Roger, you watched more than 10 minutes of the World Cup by choice.
100% yes.
Yes. All right. All guests tonight watching 10 minutes or more by choice. However, 63% of us, including your humble host, did not watch more than 10 minutes of soccer. Are you a big soccer guy?
I love World Cup and big Argentina fan.
Are they still in it?
Yes, they are.
Yes, so you're pulling for them.
They play England tomorrow, and it will be England or Argentina versus Spain, who beat France today.
For the finals.
For the finals.
Are you akin or you have a draw to Argentina because griddling and plancha and kind of the same kind of feel, or like am I reaching?
Well, maybe a little bit, but not much. They do a lot of live fire too, and we just came out with the Santa Maria style grill. And in fact, I was just in Argentina a week ago. So great country, wonderful city, great people, and they love their soccer team, believe me.
I think everywhere else except like America loves their soccer team like crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun to engage in and to watch. When they win a game, they cluster to a main area, downtown Buenos Aires, and it's amazing, the fans and how passionate they are.
If you could put work,
it's a lot of fun.
If you could put work on the shelf, would you move to Argentina?
Well, I wouldn't, but I can tell you I've visited lots of foreign countries. Mm-hmm. That is one country I could live in. It's very friendly. It felt very safe, easy to get around. So yeah, that's a nice place. Very nice.
So a lot has changed since the last time you were on the show. And for those who follow the industry, they have at least that 30,000 foot view that has transpired here over the last couple of years. But for those who might be new to the show or just new to what we're talking about, or not as into the business stuff as some of us are, can you give me, 3, 4, or 5 major talking points that you feel are relevant over the last 3 years of change?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the big change was we went through a process of nearly going public back in 2022. And then we hooked up with another financial investment company to help Blackstone grow, because our growth was so rapid. It was really necessary to really bring on a financial partner. And along that way, I had met the original, not the original owners of Weber. That's the Stephen family. They're the founders. But I met a company that invested in Weber in 2010 and really liked their methodology and the way they approach things financially. And so in 2024, we were thinking of looking at the next steps for us, and came around and started talking with that group again. It's a company called BDT, and they had recently just merged with MSD. That's Michael Dell's financial company. And so I knew the owner, Byron Trott is his name, and we got together, started talking, and one thing led to another. And we decided that a merger would be the best type of transaction. I didn't buy Weber. Weber didn't buy Blackstone. It was truly a merger between the two companies that took place just over a year ago. We officially closed. And so we've been running the business now combined for the last year and a couple of months.
Not to get into the weeds, but like, what's the nuance between merger, or if Blackstone bought Weber, or if Weber bought Blackstone?
The share ownership would be, the capital structure of the shares would be different had it been an acquisition of one versus the other. I don't know. I don't know if some of the thought process would be different if one truly acquired the other. But in this case, by far the best solution, or the best outcome, best long-term position for both brands would be a merger, where we could take a 75-year iconic brand like Weber and merge it with Blackstone, which is faster as far as growth in the last 10 years, more entrepreneurial led, and put the two brands together and really offer an incredible portfolio of product to our customers, both our retail partners and the folks who buy our grills and griddles and take them home and cook on them. So it just really, if you sat down and mapped it out, it just was perfect. It was really a lot of fun.
So if we look back on those Weber days, and you talked about potentially going public there, Traeger and Weber seemed to be in an all-out sprint back then to go public first. I think they ended up going public a week apart, if I'm not mistaken. Traeger has had to really do some reworking the past year or so to even remain listed. Weber went back private, quite a long time ago. But there was that moment, as you talked about, where Blackstone was going to go public on a SPAC. Are you thankful that didn't happen, given the way things have unfolded business-wise in the live fire industry over the last couple of years?
Well, maybe, I guess. We have the advantage now of looking back. But at the time, we were fully committed to becoming a publicly traded company. We were under an agreement to do that. We were working extremely hard to make that possible. And really what happened was the financial markets at the time went really soft, and investors didn't want to invest in seasonally. I guess, I don't know, I can't read people's minds, but my take on it is that the investors had seen what Weber and Traeger had done and how their stock price had devalued based on market conditions and who knows what else. So it didn't happen. And we were fortunate that we were able to move on to the next step and end up kind of where we are today.
Are you shocked when we look back at that time of softening coming out of COVID? What I thought were some of the smartest leaders and business people in the live fire industry actually bet that COVID business was going to be the new norm and structured accordingly. Was that a shock to you?
No, it didn't. It didn't shock me. It didn't shock me. Are you asking as far as
that's the business now you're going to be betting on, that it's going to grow like that year over year over year? We had never seen pretty much anything like that before. Why not throw those 2 years out and say, well, let's look back on whatever that normal year of business that we had before COVID was and adjust on that. And if we have another good COVID year, hey, great, we're making hay, and we'll toss that one out too. But to forecast off of those years just seemed crazy.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you on that. I thought it was a little, I didn't want to bet on that. And we were fortunate at Blackstone, and maybe this was luck. Maybe it's just the way we do business. Who knows? But because Blackstone traditionally has been a direct import shipper, meaning that we build our products in our factories overseas, our customers come and pick it up there and import it, we didn't really get the huge increases in revenue like my competitors at the time did, because they had inventory on hand, and their philosophy was to ship inventory here or build it here. Like in Weber's case, we have a factory now. So they were able to build and take advantage of that demand, which was, like you say, off the chart. And what happens with a company, any company, it happened in lots of industries that were involved in outdoor. You see this huge demand coming at you, and you try to meet that demand. And so you start building your infrastructure up, you start adding shifts to your production lines, you increase your warehouse space, you buy as much inventory as you can up front. And then all of a sudden you've got an overhead that's scaled up to those sales. And then when those sales go away, you're left with overhead that can't be sustained anymore. So it's very challenging. When you see these kinds of unusual peaks, again, regardless of the business, you have to be really, really cautious and patient. And it's hard because you want the business and people want to buy your product. You don't want to disappoint customers. But boy, you better be ready for the back end of it.
Are we not in as bad of that situation right now?
I don't know. It's not as bad as it was right after COVID. It's not, but it's definitely a mixed bag at retail right now. Mm-hmm. We have the medium to the lower end consumer is absolutely, in my opinion, they've just been hammered with the economy, with inflation, with gasoline, with tariffs. All those three things really kind of hit, not all at the same time, but they hit in order, in a row, if you will. And so we have seen customers that traditionally would buy a 36-inch griddle. If the economy gets bad, they might bump down or trade down to a 28-inch griddle. We're seeing them bump all the way down to opening price point charcoal grills because they can't really even afford, the 28-inch griddle right now. So it's definitely tough, but we've seen the medium price to the higher price points, and I'm keeping those under $1,000. Those are pretty stable, and even some slight increases in those price points. But the opening price point and the low price points, those two demographics have really been impacted.
Did this deal merger hinge on you coming in as CEO, or could this have happened with you doing something else?
Well, maybe I'm stretching my ego a little bit here, and I think I'm the reason why. I don't think that, let's just say that I really wanted and was very passionate about sticking around. So it was probably way important to me, and it was important to the investors as well.
Do you have to interview for that job?
No, but you sure have to go through a lot of due diligence.
Yeah. So when you're running one company, you only have to lead one company. When you combine or merge and just whatever, you have some level of immediate redundancy at your hands. So how do you go about deciding who and what to keep and in which locations? Because you're not just in Illinois, you're not just in Utah.
Right. And, that's an interesting point because we have offices worldwide. We have a big operation in Europe. We have offices in Germany. We have a factory in Poland, which you may not have known about. Beautiful facility. It's 5 years old and state-of-the-art equipment. So that's a wonderful facility. We have really good operations in Australia, New Zealand. We have offices there. So we really have offices all around the world. As far as Illinois and Utah, we have a great facility in Palatine, which is a west suburb of Chicago, and then here in Logan, Utah, where Blackstone has been headquartered since we started. And, it's really an integration process that we're going through, and we started that in November of last year. And it's a great process because I get a chance to really meet the people that have worked historically in Chicago and the rest of the Weber operation, and then merge those together with the Blackstone team. And really great opportunity, great people in both offices and in both campuses. So really, we've just created centers of excellence, if you will, in different offices around the world. And where we do things the best, that's where we're going to probably house that operation. Customer service, for example, actually that can be anywhere. We have customer service now in 2 locations in the United States, customer service offices throughout Europe and throughout Australia, New Zealand. So that one's kind of easy. Finance looks like we'll headquarter more of the finance team in Chicago at that office. Product development is in both campuses because I've got experts who have built gas grills for years, and we don't have that knowledge in Logan or experience, and vice versa with griddles. So we really get a chance to look and kind of cherry pick ourselves, if you will, and take advantage of that.
What kind of shared engineering is happening between the two brands?
A lot.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, I have, like I say, I've got some great experienced folks that work in both campuses. And for them, it's really interesting, Greg, because we were competitors. And then when we signed our deal in November, and we couldn't talk to each other because we had to go through the FTC approval process, and that took until May of 25. And so during that time, everybody's nervous and what's going to happen and how are we going to merge this together? Do I have to move to Chicago? Do I have to move to Logan? A lot of uncertainty is taking place, and there's nothing I could do about it. And so, but once we got merged and once we could fully engage and look at everything and evaluate everything, got the teams together and found out, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. Oh, that's how you guys did this. That's how you did that. Oh, this is how we did it. And so it's been a lot of fun.
So I have said since this merger was announced that there will be a window of time where both name brands will be kept. But at some point, there will be a unification under one name, most likely Weber. How right or wrong am I?
For keeping the brands?
It'll just be one brand name, though. It will be like it will remain separate.
Yeah, I'll keep two brands. It's one company, and my ultimate goal, and not my ultimate goal, the thing I'm working on almost harder than anything right now is unifying it as one company with two phenomenal brands, because our brands serve different customers. We have different price points. We have, if you really look at it, we have expertise in gas grills. Weber is synonymous with gas grills and the original charcoal kettle, and I can't beat that, and I'm not going to just slap a Blackstone brand on that stuff and expect it to sell, and vice versa, the other way around. So Weber has a job to do, Blackstone has a job to do as a brand, and we'll make sure that happens. And it's not very hard. It's pretty easy because they both fit into the market and they both serve the customer in different ways.
What percentage of the population even know that it's a merged company at this point?
I do not have that. I don't know.
2%?
It's interesting. A lot, maybe. Yeah, the customer doesn't really care. Yeah. But some do. A lot of customers are passionate about it, and we've had feedback. Make sure you do this, and we get lots of coaching from our customers, which I love. I think it's great. I read them. I read as much of it as I can and listen. But to the customer, it's a really nice Weber gas grill. They stepped up and got a Genesis, and they're just thrilled with the quality and the warranty and everything about it, how well it performs, how great it cooks food. And then the same with Blackstone customers. They really don't see the difference. They just are excited to take home a griddle and make some smash burgers. So the consumer probably doesn't really care.
So I checked out an interview that recently you did on a Decoder podcast. A lot of great information there. So, but there were a couple things I wanted to follow up on, if I might. There was a point in that conversation where you and the host talked about social media influencers. And you had mentioned, if somebody called me up and I got 8 million subscribers and, hook me up with $3 million and I will show the brands to my following. And you're like, that gets you a hang up very quickly because you're looking for organic and you'd stick with this griddle crew. But also there seemed to be maybe some hurt feelings by folks who weren't getting compensated and they were poached away from Weber. So now that you're back over there, is there any weird navigation thing that takes place there, or does Weber have a different outlook on that whole thing?
I should have asked him what he meant by that. I wasn't sure who he was referring to, who got hurt feelings. I'm assuming that it was some influencers who were poached by Weber before the merger, who now are no longer engaged with our brand after the merger. And they probably thought that we did that intentionally, which we did not. Not at all. It's just a little bit different philosophy that we've always had at Blackstone on how we engage with social media and people who are influencers. Our thesis is we will not be negotiated with a big influencer who wants to represent our brand and be compensated for doing that. And that's great. I don't have any problem with people doing that. I think it's great. Entrepreneurs out there today that are great influencers, and they're pitching and they're showcasing and they're showing people's products. That's wonderful. That's just not our style. It's just not how we do it. We look for people who find the brand on their own, and this will be true whether it's Weber or Blackstone. They engage with the product, they start cooking on it, and they're sharing mainly at first with family and friends. And the next thing you know, they go viral. I'll give you an example. There's a young lady out there who started cooking on Blackstones probably 4 or 5 years ago. And she is so authentic. She is so real. And she's a mom. I'm going to call her a mommy blogger. She's in her 30s probably. I haven't met her. I certainly watch a lot of her videos. and she was using a Blackstone, and she was burning her fingers and making mistakes, and people would tell her how horrible her food looked. all the while she's getting 20 million views because it's authentic and it's true. And so we will engage with folks like that, and we'll contact them, and we might send them a T-shirt. We might, give them a new griddle every once in a while. We incentivize and we do things for these folks, but that's the kind of people we love to engage with. And so that's really what we're looking for. And that's why on TikTok, I don't even know how many billions of views we're up to now. It's probably 6 billion, 4 billion. It's some crazy number. And it's because of people like her name's Tori, who authentically go out and engage with their audience, whoever that audience is, and people know immediately this is real. She's not hawking a product just to get paid for it. I believe her. So that's really what I'm looking for.
Do you think a lot of people consuming social media are taking anything that they see video-wise? If you see a product in the video that the majority of people are like, this is probably an ad. I'm not being told it's an ad. It's always a put-up. It's not really organic.
I think the consumer is smarter than some marketing advertising agencies want you to believe. I think they see right through it in seconds. So yeah, I do think that.
Where do you think marketing goes in the next handful of years? Do you think creators are going to still be a dominant way and potentially cheap? I've always maintained that in the live fire space, a lot of these guys screwed people that wanted to build let's use me, for example. A legitimate show, wanting to cover the industry, wouldn't mind making a couple bucks partnering with Weber or, a charcoal brand or whatever. But in the meantime, charcoal brand X contacts Roger and says, hey, we'll give you a skid of charcoal if you make 480 cooking videos. Well, that guy's happier than the pig and shit because he's getting free charcoal. But meanwhile, the company's making out like a bandit because they're going to get 480 pieces of content that they can repurpose and use forever and ever. To me, there was a missed business connect with a lot of these folks that either didn't realize what was going on or didn't know their value in the industry, gave it all away, and now a lot of people are paying the price for that.
Yeah, it's definitely happened. So where do I think the marketing's going to go? Greg, I still advertise on television, and a lot of people think I'm crazy to continue to do that given social media's influence and everything else. But I still see a lift at retail when we advertise. I still see the benefit of it. And when I started advertising on TV, it was 2017. Nobody knew who Blackstone was, and no one knew what a griddle could do. And that's all I was trying to do, was tell people, hey, this is a new brand in outdoor cooking. Look at what you can do on a griddle. Look at the variety of food that you can cook with. And did it work? I don't know. I mean, we grew pretty fast, so I think it had some impact on it. But it's so subjective, right? You can't really put pencil and paper to it because you spend X on television, you spend X on social media, and then people still go buy my product at retail. And that's kind of an interesting fact about outdoor cooking, where there is a lot of direct-to-consumer business out there, but a lot of it is from the retailers that do that. Lowe's is great at it. Depot's good at it. They're very good at it. Walmart's good at it. Amazon's great at it. They're all good at it. And so if you added up all the business that was shopped online, it's a big percentage, but it's mostly from brick and mortar retailers where the customer can then go to that store and pick it up at their convenience. It's safe. They don't have to worry about it. Or they can have it assembled in a lot of cases and delivered right to their house. Ace has been doing that for a number of years. So I think wherever the consumer is where we're going to go to find that consumer and share with them what we're trying to convey and the convenience and features and benefits that we have. A lot of streaming is now becoming a big thing, and the way people consume television, what I call television. My kids don't use cable. They stream everything and they have subscriptions, and they think it's cheaper until they add it up at the end of the month. And but that's, wherever the consumer is consuming is where we will be.
Weber acquired June ovens back, I think, beginning of 2001. I mean, it's been, or 2011 or something like that. I mean, it's been a while.
No, 21.
21. Okay. So,
it was 19, 20, 21 right in there.
So you had mentioned that briefly in the interview with Decoder, and I'm wondering, like, the automation appears to be great, and I've heard, I mean, you talked glowingly of it, but I had heard long about it before. We had talked about it on the show when that acquisition actually took place with the guy over at cookoutnews.com. So super expensive to produce. What do you think the commercial roadmap for the June oven technology is, and where do you see it going? Is it just to Weber, since that's more of the luxury or higher end brand, or do you see it filtering down into the Blackstone area?
I'm hoping it filters down, and we've already done that with some of the technology on some of our smart connected devices, mainly thermometers for now, but we've also engaged some of that technology on some of our Summit gas grills, our very top high-end gas grills. And that technology, it's truly amazing. I don't know if you knew how that June oven worked, but you'd put something in it, close the lid, and it would say, "Oh, this is bacon. I'm going to cook it for 1 minute and 32 seconds," and it comes out perfect. So amazing technology. How you execute it and how you really get it in a form the consumer wants to buy it. I don't know how it is at your house, but any countertop appliances in my house usually gets shoved underneath the counter. Mm-hmm. Some people don't mind stuff on the counter. Some people don't like it. It was expensive. It retailed for $1,000. Today, it'd probably be $1,500 with tariffs and such. So that makes it kind of out of reach for a lot of consumers. But the technology, there's something there, and we're going to spend some more time to see what we can unlock. But it is amazing technology.
If it gets to a point where it doesn't seem to make sense to go any further, would you resell it?
I don't know. I haven't really crossed that bridge or even kind of considered it. Look
across all the products that you have, across Weber, across Blackstone. What ones are in danger of potentially being cut out of the stable? Well,
that's a great question and fun for me to answer, because I really don't think any of them will be cut out of the stable. Mm-hmm. We have pellet grills right now under both brands. They both serve a purpose and do well. Obviously, we have griddle, which isn't going anywhere. We have the best gas grills in the market. We have charcoal. I think I need to build my charcoal business and offer more variety there at different price points. I think that's still I love it. The first Weber product I got was a kettle. And I couldn't wait to fire that up because I hadn't cooked on a kettle in 30 years or a charcoal grill. So I was looking forward to that. I threw a couple of ribeyes down and burned the first two, but the second two were really, really good. Yeah. So it was delicious. So, and then I also mentioned on that Decoder podcast a week ago that the Weber restaurants in the Chicagoland area offer cooking classes and how to cook on a gas grill. And if you are in that area, you have a chance to try it. Highly recommend doing that because, I got to be honest, I didn't know how to cook a steak on a gas grill because, again, I hadn't cooked on one. I was a little sidetracked with this Blackstone thing. So it's amazing how well it cooks and how good the food tastes coming off of it. So, our gas grill business will grow, our griddle business will grow, our pellets will grow, charcoal's going to grow. And I had mentioned earlier, we just introduced last year, this last spring, this live fire grill that we came out with. And it's not going to replace gas griddles, but man, it's a really fun way to cook.
All right, I got to ask you, this was a couple questions down, but we're on it now, so let me go ahead and ask. Both sides, by the way, have you either have one at retail right now on the Blackstone side. You're going to have one at retail at some point in 2027. It was being showcased at Memphis in May this year. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people talking about it. Are we really on board with open fire in the backyard craze as a long-term play, or are we fitting a short-term craze?
I don't have a vision on that, but I believe this is fun enough and cool enough. I think it's going to stick. I really think this this type of cooking is going to stick. Look, there's something about man and boys and fire. We can't help it. We go to a camp and there's a fire, we're finding a stick and putting it in that fire, right? That's what we do. And we're going to mess around with the coals and going to light the end of our stick on fire and wave it in your friend's face, which we don't want you to do. But it's what boys and men do. We cook over fire. It's kind of in our DNA. So I think live fire cooking is going to be a segment of the market. How big that segment is, that's what I don't really know right now, but I think it creates a new category, a new segment in outdoor cooking, and I think it will stick.
When do we see the Weber one get available for retail?
It will be next year, early 27.
Okay. Pre-seasoned griddle plates. So to me, the best thing that ever happened in the griddle market was when Weber introduced that pre-seasoned griddle grate, and there was talk a year or so ago that the next trend in the griddle sector was going to be an evolution into stainless. That has not launched at any successful scale to date. So me and a lot of my embedded correspondents were wrong on that prediction, I think, going into 26. What's the next evolution of the grilling or the griddle sector?
Let me talk a little bit about griddle plates. So you mentioned stainless. Stainless steel is a horrible heat conductor. And so if you want a stainless steel griddle top, which you will find a lot of them in commercial kitchens, because it helps meet the NSA food testing and food safety standards, and you can clean it at the end of every day, but you pull out a scrub brush and a brick and put some labor into cleaning that stainless steel griddle every night. But what you have to do on a stainless steel griddle top is probably put aluminum underneath it so that it will conduct the heat better. So if I had a solid stainless steel griddle top, where the burners were, I would be really hot and an inch away from them. It's amazing that it's not very far. I could lose 30, 40, 50 degrees in temperature. So you do the pancake test and you put a line of pancakes across, and some are burnt, some are white, and some are perfect, all the way across. It doesn't conduct heat well. So stainless doesn't conduct heat well. You have to add another metal to it. Then you've added weight and you've added a ton of cost. A stainless steel griddle plate, we've prototyped them, we've cooked on them, we've tested them. They're really expensive. And because if you ever cooked with a stainless steel frying pan, your food sticks to it all the time. They're hard. You got to be kind of a professional chef almost to work it. It's too hard. So when Weber came out with the slate, really what they were responding to was a customer issue or a customer complaint. An annoyance is probably a better way to say it, because you cook on the Blackstone, you season it the first time, it's awesome, and then all of a sudden 3 months goes by and you haven't cooked on it, and you open the hood and there's a couple of rust spots in there. Some people don't understand that's not a big deal, because these are steel plates that you can beat the living tar out of, and you ought to see some of the griddle plates we've restored. We find the worst ones, we go pick them up out of gutters, and the worse they are, the happier we are, because we get to go make a video and restore the thing. And you can do that. Put it right back into use. But we'd watched our competitors for a number of years not jump into the griddle space. Finally, they did. Traeger came in first, and then Weber came right behind them. Traeger came out with a really high quality, in my opinion, nice looking griddle, but Weber stepped it up once because they solved a customer issue by pre-seasoning the griddle plate in the factory and called it a slate. And that's really all it is. It's a more longer seasoning process in the factory. Blackstone for years we would take our griddle plates in the factory, coat them with a thin coat of oil, and run them through a furnace, and it would bake that on, but it wasn't really a seasoning. It was just prevent rust in shipping. So we were pleased to see that. So before we merged, we were addressing that as a competitive issue. And at Blackstone, we believe we came out with even a better process. We're calling it the new Blackout Griddle Top. And that is rolling out to retail as we speak. But we haven't really advertised it yet because we made it a running change. And so if I advertise it and somebody doesn't have it, or one store has it and another store doesn't, it can create a consumer issue, like, oh, I want the blackout. I didn't get the blackout, and they take it back. And so we haven't even really made a big marketing push on Blackstone blackout, but we will start probably this fall. Not probably, we'll start this fall really marketing that, letting our customers know that it's fully rolled out and should be on most models as we speak.
I got my father-in-law a 2-burner 28-incher for Father's Day, blackout griddle top on it.
Nice,
right
beautiful.
Here in Cleveland, Ohio. So I didn't pay any attention to it, and I bought him a big $14 bottle of grapeseed oil and told him how he was going to season it and all that other stuff. And then when we put it together, it was already together. We dropped the griddle plate on it. I was looking at it again, and here it's a pre-season. I was like, holy shit, they did it.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, I've never heard anything about it. I don't know if they're like, if I just got lucky and this is the only one ever. It's like the golden goose or what, but it makes sense now that it's a running change and it's not something you're highly promoting.
That's exactly right. But like I say, that experience doesn't surprise me because most of my customers now have it throughout their supply chain.
What's the trend that you see in the live fire industry outside of the open fire stuff that we were talking about? Any trend in the next 2 to 5 years that isn't on anyone's radar yet that you see?
Well, I see that, but I can't tell you about it yet because I don't want to tip off my competitors. But yeah, we see some trends coming for sure. And we are, product development, R&D, we spend a lot of time and effort and a lot of money. I think, I don't know my competitors' span, but judging on the amount of new product we put out and the innovation that we put out and the patents that we issue, I know we spend more money than anybody else in that area. So big focus for us.
You watching any of the new barbecue television stuff right now?
Refer me to which ones you're thinking of.
Pitmasters on the Food Network launched yesterday with like Andrew Zimmern and Big Mo, Ernest Cervantes, Jess Pryles as judges. It's in the mountains of Utah. They shot it for a week, and you got to cook for 7 days in a row. And I just saw that one. And then I think Jess Pryles has an additional show on Taste Made, and Susie Bullock and has a show on Taste Made as well. So there does seem to be a bit of a run-up on barbecue TV. And again, I'm like you. I don't know what TV means anymore. Streaming here, streaming there. Right. But it's on some kind of TV at this point. I don't know if you consume any of that.
I do, and we watch it. And we also produced our own series of content, if you will. We produced 10 or 15 30-minute shows called Griddle Nation, and it's going to be streaming on Roku and some of those other kinds of shows. So you'll start to see that as it gets out and gets in full distribution. And it's not really a quiet advertisement for Blackstone. We go all around the country and we cook with different people, and they share recipes and ideas and cooking methods. And we actually created a set for it in Florida, and people came there as well. So you'll start to see that out there in media as well.
Roger Dahle is here talking about Weber and Blackstone and the merger and things that might be happening here over the next couple of years. Roger, appreciate the catch-up, the time, of course, and continued success. Hope to talk again soon.
Greg, always appreciate coming on your show and all the work you do for this industry and keeping it out there in front of consumers. So thanks to you as well.
You bet. So much. Roger Dahle right there. You bet. Weber.com is the website. Also, BlackstoneProducts.com is the website. And that is going to bring a close to the show here this evening. So, all the way back in the first hour, who was it? It was David Gafford from the Barbecue Lab. Yes, barbecuelab.com. Then, who else was it? Who? Robert Moss, robertfmoss.com. Second hour, all Roger Dahle all the time, CEO of Weber and Blackstone. I was wrong. They will remain as two. Let's go ahead and bring an end to this poll. It ended closer than I thought. As we close the show here this evening, 60% of you did not watch even 10 minutes of the World Cup, and I align with you, but 40% of you did. Good job. Big show planned for you next week. We will have a visit from West Wright. We will have... I want to say that we have a Jeff Pryles interview, but I don't think that's right. I think we've moved her to the 28th. Oh, wait. We have Sam the Cooking Guy. We have Ali Khan. And we do have a first-time guest in the first hour as well before West. Wow, it's going to be a huge show. Holy moly. Get ready for it. August 3rd, programming note, August 3rd, no show. I'll be in Atlanta. Maybe doing Rasheed Phillips' pod, This Week in Barbecue. So, how do I always leave you? September 11, 2001, I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe saying, Shalom! Shalom!
This is Steve, the Cookout Coach, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.